What's up, everybody? This is Chris Surratt bringing another edition of the Car Concierge Show Week in Review. On today's show, we would standardly do our UFC because there was a fantastic UFC Tampa last night. Great fights by Joaquin Buckley and Colby Covington. Cub Swanson had a good fight, but we wasn't able to cover that because there was tremendous storms out where I live. We had power outage here at the studio, power outages at a couple of my homes, so just wasn't an opportunity that we could monitor it, watch it, review it as well. So on today's show, we're going to cover those storms and the first tornado warning ever in the history over in San Francisco, California. Let's check it out. And if you're hearing that noise, there is a maple tree right down the street from the studio that fell. So they're over there cutting it down. So if you do hear that noise in the background, please forgive me.
For the first time in recorded history, downtown San Francisco was issued a tornado warning on Saturday as severe storms swept through the city, just 1 week after a tsunami warning triggered widespread panic in the region. The San Francisco Department of Emergency Management confirmed the tornado threat ended around 6:14 a.m. PST after the storm moved northeast of downtown. Take shelter now in a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from debris, SFDEM urged residents in an earlier tweet. The National Weather Service, NWS, also issued a flood advisory and high wind warning, with sustained winds of up to 40 mph expected in areas along the coast. San Francisco Airport reported a wind gust of 72 knots, 83 mph at the time the storm passed by. A video shared on Facebook shows extreme winds shaking palm trees in downtown San Francisco. More than 10,000 people were without power in San Francisco as of Saturday morning. California averages 9 tornadoes in a year. No tornado warnings had ever previously been recorded for downtown San Francisco, the NWS confirmed. 1 week prior, a tsunami warning was issued for the San Francisco Bay Area and nearly 5 million people along parts of the Northern California and Oregon coastlines after a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck off the California coast on December 5th. A quake that strong is relatively rare, with officials reporting only about 15 around the world each year. Coastal communities avoided potential disaster and the warning was canceled by the National Tsunami Warning Center after some residents fled their homes. Most significant off-coast quakes prompt such warnings, as experts have little time to determine the immediate risk, and the result of a tsunami could be disastrous. The quake's epicenter was in the Pacific Ocean south of Eureka, California, the U.S. Geological Survey said. Eureka is the largest coastal city between San Francisco and Portland, Oregon, and about 300 miles northwest of Sacramento.
I'm going to jump over to another video real quickly. This is a video showing what was happening closer to where I live. Just one of those situations where this storm, affected a lot of this area back over on Northern California. Lots of downed trees, lots of, debris situations. And, just like I was saying, there's a big maple tree right over here that destroyed a carport and a couple of cars. And they're still out there cutting it down as we speak. Last night, we had no power both at the home and at the studio. And the thing is that, California just isn't really prepared for such things. Is this what I'm figuring out a lot. So, but let's check out this other story that's a little bit closer to where I live.
Tornado happened several hours later at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Watch this complex of thunderstorms work its way up into the Santa Cruz Mountains and then go right into Scotts Valley. Now, there was no tornado warning on that one, and they got an EF1 that went through there. Let me just show you what that looked like. We've shown the video a few times already. It's pretty impressive to look at, so you may go, oh, I've seen that already. But I think this really requires taking a moment with it because you do not often get video that is this stunning. Wow. Of a funnel cloud on the ground in the Bay Area. We're going to watch it a couple times. We're going to slow it down because the National Weather Service went down there a couple of hours after this happened to survey the damage. How do you rate these things? Look at the debris. thing's picking up. You can see the stuff flying through the air. It is primarily tree branches. There's some larger debris in there, kind of undefined, but it's the tree branches that got stripped off of trees entirely. And let's go to the other video. This is also a pretty stunning video. The overturned cars, not just one. There were seven. There's three in that view alone. I've got two more. There's another one. There's another one. This thing was able to, and according to some eyewitness accounts, it didn't just turn the cars over, it lifted them. So this was ranked a 1 on a scale of 5. The scale goes up to EF5. This was a 1. That means the wind speeds were likely at 90 miles an hour. That's the official designation from the National Weather Service at this point. Let's get over to the weather computer in there now, because I can show you what that looked like as it went through the Santa Cruz Mountains. An EF5 would have 200-mile-an-hour winds on it. So this was a 1. It had 90. Telltale signature right there as it was coming in near Davenport. That little part right there is a hook in the radar signature, and that's what you look for. It did have a subtle imprint as it came into the Santa Cruz Mountains, but then the mountains, the terrain obscured the radar imagery. So the National Weather Service could not get a clear enough view on this before it got into Scotts Valley for the tornado warning. You want to know what was different about San Francisco? That one was unmistakable. This is going back to the 5 o'clock hour. We're going to come back again in a few minutes. I want to talk to you about this one. There's the hook echo. There's the city. You got warned on this one. That's more than Scotts Valley had. But then you didn't get the tornado. We'll look at that, and then the big picture explanation. What happened today? How did we get 2 of these? I'll see with that in just a few minutes. Brian, for now, back to you.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, that's exactly or right by where I live, and they're still dealing with it as we speak. I think the power's still out at one of my houses. Of course, studio's up and running. That's real cool. But what it makes me realize is that this area of California specifically is just not prepared for this type of thing. I mean, my home's in Indiana, they have generators. And that's another thing. I'm going to become a avid sponsor, or I'm going to start selling those Generac power generators to these people out here. Because the studio's on top of a hill, so there's really a lot of really nice houses around it. A golf course right over here. And as I'm driving through yesterday, looking at the damage and everything, I'm noticing that no homes have lights on whatsoever. Nobody had power. Everybody's power was out. And I'm like, back in Indiana, this is a normal occurrence. So lots of people have generators, whether it be a gas generator or the Generac system that my mom has or something like that, because it happens in Indiana all the time. It's, with the, the cold weather, storms, blizzards, all these type of things, you could lose power. And out here in California, it's just not a thing where it's a massive fear of losing power. So they don't have the generators, they don't have the preparedness that it would be necessary to, make sure that you're prepared when these type of situations happen. And I hope you guys can hear that, them cutting that tree down. It's pretty loud, but it's just one of them things we're going to have to go through for this show. So I'll just make the show fairly quickly. But I just want to advocate for this area where I live. Here in the Central Coast Valley of California, where it's really nice. And the one other thing I wanted to say is that, wow, it's loud. Another thing I want to say was that, we have one of my homes is on the street where the fire station is and the police station is. So, they had to be without power too. And we don't see a lot of looting, a lot of crime when these things happen. Steadily in some places, when power goes out. Damn, that's loud. We'll give it a second because these fools is cleaning or something. So yeah, they're out there cleaning up all the mess and stuff from the debris and whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's we didn't see a lot of looting. You don't see a lot of business being broken into, because this area I live in is a really good area. Really policed well. So that's always a good thing when you have these type of situations, and specifically when in other places I've lived, there's been looting when there was power outages and stuff like that. So that didn't happen here. It was very straightforward situations. Only a couple places open. Had to run over to KFC, get a couple buckets for the family, and stuff like that. And of course, KFC was packed because KFC and Wendy's was the only places open in like 25-mile radius. So it was crazy. But let's keep going. Let's get this over with. They out there fixing things, so it's going to be loud. But let's try to continue. All right, next up, we're going to talk about Audi as they confirmed that they plan to close their plant over in Brussels. And we're bringing up this story because it's very specific to a situation I'm having here in
Brussels plant operational. Audi's decision comes as Audi has officially announced the closure of its Brussels plant, set to cease operations on February 28, 2025. The factory, which has been central to Audi's production of the electric Q8 e-tron, faces closure due to declining demand for this model and high operational costs, despite the rise in EV demand globally. The company has struggled with finding new projects or models to allocate to the plant, which made it challenging to sustain the facility. The decision impacts roughly 3,000 employees who have voiced their concerns through union protests and strikes in recent months. Workers argue that the lack of alternative plans or projects signals a broader issue in European auto manufacturing, where companies are increasingly focusing on large, high-cost electric SUVs. Some potential investors had shown interest, but no concrete offers materialized that would keep the Brussels plant operational. Audi's decision comes amid Volkswagen Group's, Audi's parent company, wider cost-cutting and restructuring initiatives, including planned closures of plants in Germany. The company is moving toward consolidating production and reducing overhead in response to market pressures from new electric vehicle players, particularly from Asia. Local officials and union leaders are in talks about potential re-employment programs and alternative uses for the facility to support affected workers. Audi and Volkswagen remain in discussions with regional policymakers to explore future employment solutions for these workers, but a final solution has yet to be defined. The decision reflects a complex reality in the auto industry's shift to electric vehicles, highlighting the balance between production efficiency and market responsiveness in a fast-evolving landscape. The Brussels factory's closure underscores the growing pains traditional automakers face.
All right, so I bring this up because me in particular, I have a vehicle at one of my shops that is being repaired, and I had to order several parts from this particular plant for this Audi Q8 e-tron that we have in my store. And I'm still waiting on the front bumper to show up so I can finish the repair. And it's been almost 2 months that I've been waiting on this bumper. And, I'm hoping that it's going to come fairly soon, but I don't know. And the fact that this plant is closing just kind of dictates that if you do own one of these vehicles, and of course, since it's so brand new, more than likely a lot of the parts are going to be coming straight from the factory, is that you are going to be coming into problems if you ever get into an accident, anything ever breaks down, because you're going to have an extremely, extremely hard time getting any parts for these vehicles. And I don't see this, getting better anytime soon. Probably, you hope, the hope for people like me would be that they, ship all the remaining parts that they have over to the U.S. so to their warehouses so they can be used. But of course, if they're not getting built and they start running out of parts, it's going to be a whole different situation. So, this is par for the course with the automotive industry, par for the course for Audi and Volkswagen. And of course, we're going to continue to talk about Audi and Volkswagen because they continue to do things that are not making a lot of sense. This next story we're going to talk about is how Volkswagen has decided it's going to offer its Tennessee workers a 14% wage hike over the next 4 years. Let's check that story out, Ro.
In a significant move, Volkswagen has announced a 14% wage increase for its Tennessee factory workers, set to unfold over the next 4 years. This decision comes as part of the company's effort to not only attract, but also retain skilled labor in a competitive automotive market. Wage hike is expected to have a profound impact on the lives of the workers. With rising living costs and inflation, this increase provides a much-needed boost to their financial well-being. Workers have always been the backbone of the automotive industry, and Volkswagen recognizes the importance of rewarding their hard work and dedication. This announcement is not just about numbers, it's about commitment. Volkswagen is showing that it values its employees, ensuring they feel appreciated and secure in their roles. This move
of the factories in Germany, not the factory in Tennessee, and it's showing a lot of the footage from when the people from the German Volkswagen factories were striking. Now, that's what a lot of this footage is, and it's kind of weird that they're showing it when they're telling you a story about how they're going to bring the wage higher for the factory in Tennessee. Let's keep going.
Can also be seen as part of a larger trend in the industry, where companies are increasingly focusing on employee welfare to build a loyal and motivated workforce. As the automotive landscape continues to evolve, Volkswagen's forward-thinking approach could set a precedent for others in the industry. With the focus shifting towards electric vehicles and innovative technology, the need for a skilled workforce has never been greater. A well-compensated team will be crucial in meeting these new challenges head-on. In the end, this wage increase serves as a reminder: investing in employees is investing in the future of the company. As Volkswagen takes this bold step, it invites other companies to consider the long-term benefits of prioritizing their workforce.
See, that was what we would consider a fluff video. It just was trying to portray Volkswagen as a company that helps out its workers and all these other things. So we're going to show another video talking about pretty much the same thing with a little twist, and then we're going to talk about it.
Welcome back to the network. According to a report by Fortune Europe, Volkswagen workers in Germany have staged a strike in response to proposed pay cuts. Meanwhile, the car maker has offered workers in Tennessee a wage hike. This juxtaposition reveals a striking disparity between the treatment of employees in different regions by the same company. The situation raises questions about the company's strategy and how it may affect the quality of Volkswagen products. We would like to know what you think. Do you believe companies should treat their employees equally no matter the region? Please leave your responses in the comments. We value your opinions.
Now, that video, it speaks about how, of course, they're striking at Volkswagen in the factories in Germany, majorly striking, been striking for a little while, and they're talking about offering the Volkswagen employees at the Tennessee plant a wage hike over 4 years, which is not a bad thing per se, if they, depending on how they do it. But, and what this young gentleman over at Auto Beast is trying to explain to you is that it's a disparity between the workers over in Germany and a disparity between the workers, you know, here in the U.S. And that's, for me, that's not what it is. What it is that Volkswagen thinks that the American workers are just a lot stupider, because what they're doing is they're saying, oh, well, over the next 4 years, you know, if you work extremely hard for us, we're going to start upping your pay incrementally every year up to 14% over 4 years. But what's going to happen is that when they do that first pay raise, they're going to tell you, because you've already signed this contract stating that we're going to do these pay raises over the next 4 years up to 14%, and you've signed a contract stating that you will agree to that. What they're going to do is, when they do that first pay raise, they're going to, part of that contract, and that's the biggest thing. That's one of the biggest things, is that these workers don't view the contracts. The union workers don't view the full contracts that they're agreeing to or signing to with these companies, specifically Volkswagen in this situation, because I will bet cash money that there is performance clauses in that contract, and if they don't perform, then not only is the pay hike going to get cut, but it's going to allow them to let some people go, to fire some people, to terminate some people, because they're guaranteed to pay raise but they're not guaranteed how they get it. And some cases, and we've seen this over the course of a lot of weeks, in a lot of cases, specifically with the UAW and the way they sign these contracts, specifically the one with Big Three, that caused all them people to get pay raises, but then after the fact, all those people got fired. They all got fired because in the contract it stated that there was specific clauses, performance clauses, all these type of things that would allow for the company to terminate some employees to maintain the status quo of giving you these pay raises, but it just doesn't have to keep the same amount of people around to collect these pay raises. So people are still getting fired, and that's the problem. And they just think that y'all stupid. And I'm telling you, you have to look at these contracts. You have to really dive into, if you're going to give us pay raises and we don't earn those pay raises, because the pay raises they almost have to be based on performance. They have to be, well, if we can give y'all more money, if we're making more money. If we're not making more money and we give you more money, we're just losing money. We don't want to lose money. Who wants to lose money? So there has to be performance clauses in these contracts. And with these performance clauses, it allows them to say, hey, all right, well, we're going to give you these pay raises, but you guys aren't performing, so we're going to have to let a couple of y'all go so that we can maintain y'all pay at the same rate, but not have to pay these people because we're going to terminate them. So it's still a dire situation. My thought would be to not sign it, because I'm telling you, if you can't guarantee that this Volkswagen factory is going to see any uprise in performance, any uprise in anything, specifically in this automotive industry, in this automotive world we live in right now. Volkswagen is suffering. Volkswagen is about to face more lawsuits over Dieselgate. And now they're going to promise y'all over in Tennessee that y'all going to give y'all more money, and that y'all think some people ain't going to get fired. They just think y'all stupid. They really do. All right, so last story we're going to jump into is some good news. We think it's some good news. It's going to be a quick reader, then I'm going to get y'all up out of here because I don't even know if y'all hear me with that loud noise happening in the back. All right. Toyota adds $922 million paint facility to Kentucky site. This is, of course, our favorite news channel, Automotive News, and it's by George Hall on December 12th. So, Toyota North America is investing $922 million in a new paint facility at its assembly plant in Georgetown, Kentucky. The facility, spanning 1 million square feet, aims to improve efficiency, reduce environmental impact, and enhance vehicle finish quality, according to a December 12th announcement. The expansion, initially announced in May 2023, includes plans to produce Toyota's first U.S.-made electrical vehicles by 2025. In February 2024, the company committed an additional $1.3 billion to establish battery pack assembly operations at the site. The new paint facility is designed to reduce carbon emissions by 30% and save 1.5 million gallons of water annually. It will also shorten production lead times, improve process accuracy, and expand color options for vehicles. Our customers get the dynamic and stylish exterior finishes they love, but Toyota's commitment to advanced paint technologies goes beyond aesthetics, Kerry Creech, president of Toyota Kentucky, said in a statement. The paint facility is scheduled to open in 2027. The Kentucky Assembly Complex, one of automakers' largest global factories, employs 10,000 workers and produces the Camry Hybrid, RAV4 Hybrid, and Lexus ES, as well as 4 and 6-cylinder engines. Production of Lexus ES will be phased out there in 2025 and continue in Japan. This year, Toyota has invested over $2 billion in the plant, which has been a cornerstone of its U.S. manufacturing since 1986. All right, this is, of course, fantastic news. Fantastic news. Seems like Kentucky is still growing when it comes to factory work, and that's all we can ask for. It's weird that it's Toyota, though. They did say that they're going to move their production of the Lexus ES over to Japan. So I guess they're going to lose some jobs, but of course with the paint facility and all the battery pack facility and all these other things, they're going to bring jobs here. And that's all we require. We would desire that the big three that's already here in the U.S. start to do the same thing. Toyota is, of course, not a mainstay U.S. automaker, but they have been here for a very long time. They have produced a lot, and they produce great vehicles. Of course, I told you I just bought two Toyotas a couple months ago. I got two Toyotas a couple months ago, and they're great vehicles. People love them, and we are going to end the show by giving them kudos for continuing to bring jobs and work for our U.S. automaker employees here in the U.S. Alright guys, I'm going to get up out of here. I don't even know if y'all really heard this show with all the loud noise going on in the background, but I will say this. Get your Generacs from me if you live here in California, because I'm going to be selling them things pretty soon. Definitely need those around here. And if you're in the area where that gets a lot of thunderstorms and tornadoes and things, just be safe. It's of course a horrible situation. We just don't deal with it a lot out here. We don't complain about it a lot because we don't see it a lot here. It's California. It's beautiful here, and when things like that happen, it's kind of weird. So you guys take care of yourselves. Get you a generator for emergencies. Please share, like, subscribe to the show, and I'm out. Peace.